Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whatever time zone you are currently watching this stream from. Again, this is Easy FX Academy where trading is made easy, right? And welcome again to our market review session. We have this every Monday. All right, this is just for us to look at the charts together, maybe from a swing perspective and just have an idea of what exactly we expect from individual commodities or pairs. Right, so let's start from gold now. For the past couple of weeks, our bias has still been the same. We're still bullish on gold. We don't have any reason right now to believe otherwise as relates to gold, right? So we're going to work with that bias right now. Let's see, let's zoom in. um Now it doesn't mean that you cannot get sell entries, don't get me wrong. You might be able to get some fair enough sell entries, all right? But from the swing perspective, it will probably be safer for you to trade from you know trade according to the trend, right? So I'm seeing about two regions here. Let me use the line chart so that I'll just be able to mark here. So that's one there. I saw this one earlier. I think I'm just going to be fairly interested and pick it up for the meantime. All right, so let's work with these two regions right now of gold. I believe these two regions are fair enough POIs for us to get in for possible re-entries for the buy. All right, since we've not seen any slowdown in momentum for the buys on gold, right? So POI one for the buy 4038 between 4038.68 and 4020.40, and the second POI for the buy is between 3997.34 and 3975.15. And I believe that the first POI though still it looks a bit more convincing to me. But all the same, like I usually tell you, your job is to be very, 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 protective of your capital. By all means, go to lower time frames. If you're a scalper, for example, get your own entry, criteria. Make sure you're seeing your own entry criteria before taking any of these trades, and practice proper risk management in every single trade that you take. All right, so that's just going to be it for gold. We're expecting the buys from either one of those two regions, and then we'll see how that plays out during the course of the week. All right, let's look at AED card also. The Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. And I think for AUD card, let us see. Yeah, I remember last week we were talking about the fact that we're expecting the price to drop. We saw that happen, like play out quite massively. All right, and I think this week we might still get to see that happen. Right, I still believe that we have. Let's see. Oh, okay, okay. I remember I marked this region out a couple of weeks ago. I was just somewhere I was watching out for. I'll see from the daily time frame. Interesting enough. Okay. All right. All right. I think we can still work with that. I think we can still, yeah. I think we can still work with. Sorry, I think we can still work with that. So for the sell entries on this guy right now, I'm seeing a region. Seeing one around here, but I would have maybe preferred to use my fib, but let's just use this for the meantime. This is quite large. So in this type of scenarios, I expect that you know what we do here. Basically, just you can just work with the 50% if it's too large for you. All right, and that'll be a lot safer. That'll be a safer bet rather for you know you on the long run. All right, though you might miss the trade anyway, but still it's be a safer bet. All right, if at all you feel like that region is just a bit too wide, so let me just slightly pop it up, and yeah. So let's work with this for the meantime on on AD card for the sales, right? So basically our sell POI right now is around 0.92050 and 0.91792. So expecting price at least to give us the buys into here and then possible sells. For the buy, if at all, I'm not just going to want to go to the lower time frames too much, or you might possibly be able to get, a lower time frame entry for, the buy continuation on this guy. But for the meantime, let's just stop, at that for AD card. All right, next up, let's go to ADCHF. Now, I expect to some extent to see a level of, what's the word exactly? Um, I'm trying to remember this word. How am I not remembering? Correlation, yeah, between AD card and ADCHF, but all the same, let's look at it together. Um, Basically, I actually, just something similar to what I just said right now. I think we should still get to see this guy pull up a little bit. So let's just drop our fib retracement using this analysis. Now I'm going to be very cautious though. Maybe I'll still go back to AD card and just quickly say something. Like I said, for these type of regions that are quite large, you can just decide to work with the 50% of those regions that you should be fine. All right, so yeah, I think we can work with this. So sell POI for this is around 0.52879 and 0.52703. All right, those are my those are coordinates for the sell POI rather. Now let me just quickly go back to AD card and touch up on something, right? I want us to be cautious. I do overall. Let me show you on the daily time frame, right? Daily time frame structure is telling us that we're in a sort of bullish market, right? But I want us to be very, very cautious because at the very least we've seen, a little bit of a break below this low. That's why I'm believing that at the very least we might still get to see, that continuation for the sales. All right, but let's leave it at this. Let's leave it at this for the meantime. I'm just looking at all possibilities and trying to reconcile how everything looks from my end. But let's just have that at the back of our minds there. AED, sorry, Euro AED, which was one of the guys that broke my heart last week, and I'll explain what I mean by by that, right? Basically, we're expecting the sales, which was we actually got the sales from somewhere around here last week, but the buys I was expecting was from a little bit deeper, right? And I think I think rather I'm still expecting the buys from that same region. So for the meantime, on Euro AED, I think we can just watch out for sell continuations at the very least, so somewhere around here. Now for sell re-entries, possible sell re-entries, I think for this I'll be like can draw. Oof. Okay, so usually when you have voids like this, price occasionally comes back to try to fill the void. Let's just look at it a bit. Let us see. What do you want to give us? Okay, okay, sorry. Right, so that also works. I think we can work with that for the meantime. All right, let's have this right here. Yep. All right, so for sell PY right now, you ready in case we get to see a pullback. All right, I think this is something that we can work with for the sell. So we buy to get maybe a sell that will carry us deep down into here. Sell PY coordinates between 1.78 1.78979 and 1.78496. All right, those are the coordinates for the sell that I'm expecting right now on EH. All right, so I hope that is clear. Let's look at Euro. Did I see Euro card before? I'm not so sure. Let's look at Euro NZD. I think yeah, Euro NZD. So back to the 4-hour time frame. All right, so for Euro NZD, we got to see this buy. Okay. All right, so okay. Just give me a minute. Let me just check. Okay. I mean, if we're going to continue bullish right now, all right, we're going to continue bullish. Look, based off of what I'm seeing right here, this, right? Just give me a minute. We have this, right? But all will continue bullish. I think this is where I'll prefer to watch out for such a bullish continuation from somewhere around here. Let me just clean it up. All right, so this is a lot better. Yep. Let's work with this. Let's work with that. All right, this will be the buy PY that I'm watching out for. But all the same. Let's see how price reacts to something like this, because there's not a complete trend. It's not necessarily the most preferred for me right now, because I've preferred 3 touches, and for the most part, what I can count right now is just about 2. So I still want to see the possible reactions I will have for the buys from here. So this is just between 2.01329 and 2.00888 for the possible buys on Euro NZD during the course of this week. So basically, we still want to see price give us that drop into here, and then we can get our buys from the sort of discount region there. But that basically is it. If at all we get to see a deeper pullback, then definitely my buy POI will definitely change to this one that I think we talked about last week, but which is a lot deeper and still quite far away. But it's between 1.98727 and 1.97788. All right, so I hope that is clear for Euro NZD. I think we just have a few more commodities to look at today, because I don't want this video to be long. All right, so Euro USD now. Euro USD basically missed our entry just by very few pips like last week. But all the same, let's see. Straight away, I think I have identified the suspect. I'm so sorry. I remember the meme right now. Right, I remember the meme, and it got me. I was going to say I've identified the suspects. Is it Osas? I've already forgotten how the meme goes, but I sort of have it at the back of my mind. Right, so this is going to be our sell POI for the continuation for the sales on Euro USD. I think this is workable, seeing that we're still seeing some level of bearishness from this guy right now. All right, so give me a minute. Right, so let's just work with this for the meantime. Sell POI between 1.16816 and 1.16556. Right, that's the sell POI that we are working with on Euro USD. So expecting buys up to here, possibly then sells, or sell continuation rather, from somewhere around there. Right, so all that is clear for EU. Next up, let's do GJ. I remember GJ sort of shanked me last week. All right, so basically we saw this on the daily time frame. We saw a daily time frame resistance, right, and price basically gave us a fair bit of a straight sell from there. All right, so let's just see what we can watch out for on GG. Now, basically, I do believe we should get to see some sales off of this guy during the course of the week. Let's work with, yeah. So just give me a minute. All right, so let's see that on June. Right. So let's also work with this currently on GBP JPY. All right, if you have, let's leave it like that. Let's leave it like that. If at all you are, taking this as a swing trader, at the very least, you can maybe want to use this I as your stop loss, but I do not believe that price should get as far as that. I think this is still quite a safe region for the sales right now, from what I can see. So basically, we're expecting a buy to sell right now on GJ, buy to sell right now on GJ. So up to here, get a rejection there, price drop. Right. So let me increase this to here because I just saw. Yeah, I think let's work with this instead. Yeah, let's work with this instead. All right, so sell PY for this is between 204.841 and 203.893. All right, that basically is our sell PY currently on GG. Now, as you know, we cannot do but talk about GBP USD also. I mean, Azal now, Azal. Right, so GBP USD, I think we can look for something similar. I'm going to be cautious here because I think I'm seeing a lot more, so to speak, on GU. I mean, I can see the correlation to some extent with EU, like Euro USD, but all the same, definitely not. Definitely not. Let's see. Alright, I'm not yet to sing. I'm just don't mind. You can dance if you want to dance. But as I dance, send your offerings. That's true. That's true. All of you that have been making profits from our live streams and you have not been sending your tithes and offerings, don't worry, we are coming for you very soon. All right, coming for you very soon. But let's see. Mm, 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 mm. I do think that we're still going to see price break this high. All right, from what I'm seeing right now, price definitely looks to be coming for this high. So maybe what's going to happen is for GU, I may not necessarily give us a zone. I'll just possibly call a current level of support or resistance that I think should still hold. Yeah, so let's have one. Maybe my final one. I'm saying I'm suspecting the guy. This is I think this is suspecting. Just give me a minute, please. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing right now might seem like, what exactly is this guy drawing on the screen? Don't worry, just stay with me, focus, my fault. All right, so let's see. I think let's work with that. All right, so anywhere between, basically the region I'll be expecting to sell will be between anywhere between will be anywhere between 1.34310 and 1.33926. Right, but for the meantime, what I think I'll prefer rather, sorry, what I'll prefer to watch out for right now would be for a break of this eye and then a possible sell. So what I'm saying is something like this. I might just want to say a sweep of this eye rather, right, and then maybe from there we get to the sales. Maybe something like that is what I'll be watching out for. Alternatively, like I said, I'm not just going to give us a region for this one. Alternatively, let me look at it from, okay, if at all we're going to consider that, then I would be tempted to pick from here to here as a possible swing high to swing low, come down to the 4-hour time frame, which is still very, very far away. I'm not so confident in how this will hold, seeing the amount of reactions we had in that region already. Right, so I'm not so key. I'm not so sure about this one. I'm not so what's what I want to use. I think I prefer this first this one I called earlier. Basically let me give that the previous support I was marking out, which is going to turn as turn to resistance rather, is around 1.33926 or so. Right, so just look for that on your chart. And again, don't forget that the values I'm seeing on this broker right now might be different from the values you're seeing on your chart. So don't just use the exact values I'm calling. You can also just what's the word I want to use? Maybe interpolate, is that the word? right, whatever you see on your chart, and just get the precise values depending on your broker, right? Different values might be seen. All right, so basically that will be sell idea one. Then the second one I'll be looking out for will be from here, which is between 1.34975 and 1.34642 for second POI for possible sales on GBP USD. All right, so that is clear. I think I'll just do about maybe one or two more commodities, and then we'll call it a session. All right, this is already about 15 minutes long. I try my best to reduce it to about 20 minutes because I know that everybody's busy. I don't want to take too much of your time when you're watching this video. Just, get the value you need straight ahead, and then it's your week running up, eat the ground running, as our president says. Right, don't mind me. Don't worry. Let's see. Let us see. Obviously, I think that is quite obvious. But Shubha, Sibe, to my me. I think I would love to pick up this. So this would be my coin sell POI on NJ. Preferably though, for this one, I would want to by all means relax and wait for the 50% of, for price to at least get to 50% of that region. I think I'll be more comfortable working with that. I think yeah. I think I'll be more comfortable working with that. Again, let me quickly clarify if my eyes are not deceiving me. Yeah, right. Let's work with that. Let's work with that. So basically sell PY for NZDJPY between 88.049 and 87.580. That's just it for NZDJPY. Now, last but not the least for tonight, let's do UCAD. USD CAD. One of my favorite guys, a couple of months ago. All right, it's not if it's not my favorite anymore, but I guess sometimes the price action just sort of makes sense, and then after a while, maybe because of the type of seasons and the way the market moves, cycles in the market, it just feels like it's not making sense anymore. But all the same, it's something I love. I enjoy trading. It feels like I don't say that it doesn't make sense anymore. I'm just saying it just feels like it. But that being said, let's see USD CAD, USD CAD, USD CAD, USD CAD, USD CAD, USD CAD. I feel like a rapper. Don't mind me, right? So let's work with this for the sales. I think because already here we have solid liquidity resting around that high. Sorry, give me it. Solid liquidity resting around the high. Sorry, and let's see something like this. This is what I'm going to be expecting right now. All right, in the sense that let me explain my bias right now. Basically, I want to see a little bit of a drop, possibly. Just go check on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, amazing. So overall, I'm still expecting a drop, but it's very possible that we get to see a break of this high at the very least. Right, which should be prices we have just gathering liquidity or just sweeping liquidity from that high before the drop. All right, so it's very likely that we get to see that sweep of liquidity from that high, and then we get to see a massive drop. Maybe not so massive, but something substantial, happening on USD CAD. So I'm quite bearish on this guy. I might not give a zone in this case. I'll just tell you, something like I said for G, I didn't give a zone, right? Just watch out for a possible break of this high, right? So what you might want to watch out for might just be a sweep of that high one, then so maybe a candle, formation that tells you that price is ready to give us, a proper drop, maybe like an engulfing candle pattern formation, engulfing candle pattern. Yes, I'm correct. Or you might want to just watch out for, one of the things I watch out for here, a rejection candle, a very, very strong rejection candle, which is just basically a candle with a longer way to either side, or whether it's a candle with a longer way to the upside or to the downside. Just look for one that's very strong, and that then might get to give you that hint of, price dropping towards the downside a lot more. But by all means, like I usually say, please by all means do your best, do all that is in your power to also work with your own entry criteria or entry confirmations, however you might have it. And I'm very sure, again, also, yes, practice proper risk management, right? That's I cannot even overemphasize that. And I'm very sure we are going to have a profitable rest of the week. See you guys next time. Bye bye and God bless. Again, don't forget to sell your offerings and tithes. All right, bye bye, guys.